Good evening. I am the Sandman. I am here to tell you a story. Tonight's story is another Christmas tale called The Worst Christmas Present. The first snowflakes of Christmas Eve drifted lazily to the ground, coating the world in a pristine white blanket. Inside the cozy living room, the fire crackled, casting a warm, golden glow across the room. Mismatched stockings hung above the hearth, and a brightly decorated tree sparkled in the corner. It was the perfect setting for a quiet, peaceful Christmas, except for one thing. Lily couldn't stop staring at the box under the tree. It was small, wrapped in crimson paper with a golden ribbon, sitting innocently among the other gifts. But something about it made her skin crawl. She had no idea where it had come from, and yet there it was, waiting. She glanced over at her fiancé, Michael, who was sitting on the couch, scrolling through his phone. He seemed oblivious to the gift, too wrapped up in the holiday festivities to notice her growing unease. "Do you think we should open them now?" Lily asked, her voice shaky. Michael glanced at her, his face lighting up with a smile. "Of course. It's Christmas Eve. You've been dying to see what I got you." "Yeah," she muttered, still looking at the small gift. "I guess so." Michael handed her a large box, already grinning in excitement. "Go ahead, open it. I think you'll love it." But Lily's attention remained fixed on the tiny crimson package. Something wasn't right about it. She reached for it cautiously, her fingers brushing the paper. A sudden chill ran down her spine, but she ignored it, trying to shake off the feeling. She tore off the paper slowly, her heart pounding, as though the gift were a ticking time bomb. When she pulled off the last of the wrapping, she found an old, tarnished wooden box inside. The lid was carved with intricate patterns, strange symbols that seemed to shift when she stared at them too long. Michael's eyes sparkled as he leaned forward. "What is it?" he asked eagerly. Lily felt a knot form in her stomach. She ran her fingers over the box, its surface cold to the touch. A faint hum emanated from it, like the faintest whisper of a forgotten voice. She opened the box. Inside was a necklace, a delicate silver chain with a pendant shaped like a teardrop. It was beautiful, elegant even, but Lily's pulse quickened as she picked it up. The stone in the pendant shimmered with an eerie, almost unnatural glow, and as her fingers brushed against it, she felt a sharp jolt of electricity surge through her body. The world around her seemed to tilt, and she blinked, disoriented. When she looked up, Michael's smile had faded, his face suddenly pale. "You don't like it?" he asked, his voice low and strange. "No, it's not that," Lily said, trying to shake off the unease that had settled in her chest. "It's just, I don't know. Something about it feels off." Michael stood up abruptly, his face twitching with something almost like desperation. "You're overthinking it. It's just a gift." But Lily couldn't stop herself from examining the pendant more closely. The stone in the middle of the necklace seemed to pulse with an inner light, as though it were alive. The whispers were growing louder now, a low murmur she could barely hear, but felt in her bones. It was as though the box itself was breathing, calling to her, urging her to do something. "Lily," Michael said, his voice strained, "are you okay?" "I don't know," she replied shakily. I feel like something's wrong." Suddenly, the room temperature dropped. Lily shivered, the hair on the back of her neck standing on end. She glanced around, but there was no sign of the source of the cold. The fire had gone out in the hearth, its embers now only a faint glow. Then she heard it, soft, like a whisper at first, but growing louder. "Lily." The voice called her name, chilling her to the bone. It was not Michael's voice, nor anything she recognized. It came from the box. She staggered back, holding the necklace out in front of her as though it might bite. "What is this?" she whispered. The whispers grew louder, almost frantic, echoing around her. "Take it. Wear it. Forever." The room seemed to grow darker, the shadows on the walls shifting and twisting like tendrils. She couldn't tear her eyes away from the necklace. Despite the fear gripping her, she felt an overwhelming compulsion to put it on. "No," she muttered to herself. "No, I can't." But her hands moved of their own accord, and before she could stop herself, the necklace was around her neck. The moment the clasp clicked shut, the shadows around her surged forward, swirling into a mass of dark energy. Michael's face twisted in a grimace, and his eyes darkened as if something within him had changed. "It's done," he murmured, almost to himself. "I couldn't stop it, Lily. I couldn't." Lily froze. "What do you mean? What's going on?" The air around her grew thick with an unnatural pressure. The whispers filled her mind now, louder, more insistent. "She belongs to us now." Her legs buckled, and she collapsed to her knees. Michael knelt beside her, his hands cold as they gripped her arms. "I didn't want to do this, but you had to know. I had to do this." Tears welled in her eyes as the weight of his words sank in. "What did you do? What is this?" "This is what you get when you want the perfect Christmas," Michael said, his voice hollow. "The gift. It was never meant to be just a necklace. It's a curse, Lily. A curse that takes whoever wears it. And now you're bound to it forever." Lily gasped, struggling to breathe as the necklace seemed to tighten around her neck. The shadows closed in around her, and her vision blurred. Her body began to feel cold, as though the warmth of life was draining from her. The last thing she heard before everything went black was Michael's voice. "I'm sorry, Lily. I was determined to give you the perfect gift." I hope you enjoyed that story about unwanted gifts. Merry Christmas. Please share and subscribe. That's if you dare.